In this video, guys, I'll be showing you how you take something looking super average and mediocre, especially on this day and age, and how you take something and just have something like 2 ring lights, a softbox light, 2 softbox light, whatever it is, even a window. I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step breakdown of how you take looking like this to looking something a little more professional, a little more crispier, and I promise you this is going to be under 15 minutes, and by the end of this video you will know how to make your videos look a lot more professional and decent looking with better lighting techniques that I use that I'm going to show you, even if you don't even have a single budget. And if you watch all the way to the end of this video and you still don't know what the hell you're doing with your lighting and your content still looks like garbage, well, what are you doing, man? Let's get into this. So I'm gonna show you, even if it's like even an entry-level DSLR. This video I'll be using my D5200 right here, guys, to show you that you can even make this guy on a kit lens look pretty damn good, even if you don't have a budget. All I'm gonna be using is softboxes, ring lights that you can find. Everything that I mentioned, I've already made complete reviews and comparisons, contrasts. Link in the description if you want to check out all those videos, but I'm going to show you exact breakdown of how you actually make something into something, right? I think that's how my slogan goes. Bear with me. I know it's a little ironic because I am filming a video on lighting, and right now it is really horrible lighting, but I wanted to show you guys what exactly you will need. So first is you'll need a light, of course, and I have this here is a 14-inch Mount Dog ring light, links in the description, as well as I will be using 2 newer softboxes. And I'm actually going to be using my softboxes as a key light. Why, you ask? Is because the softbox light is actually a lot more diffused and more softer, hence the name softbox, in comparison to my newer ring light, which is very harsh, which creates that halo eye-like effect. And I'm just going to show you guys right now how you make something completely dark like it is right now, and how you improve it instantly by having the exact same light setup that I will show you. And now you can't complain about, why do my videos look so garbage? Why is the lighting so grainy? I don't have the right camera. I'm like, bro, if you have the right lighting setup, you can make any camera, like I'm going to show you right now with the Nikon D5200, look pretty superior than most people that spend $2,000 plus on a lighting setup and they still don't know how to use the camera. Like, come on, get out of here. Get out of here. But one of the things you want to do that I see a lot of noob people do is they put the softbox light right in front of the camera. And yes, that will get your subject or video fully lit, like Travis Scott would say. But it does create a lot of mediocre or average looking videos, and you don't want that. So I'm going to be recording on my Nikon D5200 right now. So most people, what they do is, okay, I have a softbox. I'm going to put it right above my camera. Some people don't even position the softbox right? That's another thing. So the first thing a lot of people do, what they do wrong, is they literally just put the softbox right in front of the camera, like so. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna tilt it down a bit, which isn't the worst thing that you can do, as I think I'll look pretty fine right now. Making sure I am in focus, making sure, if you haven't watched my other videos yet, that I'm using the best settings for my video. So when it comes to having good lighting, what that'll improve is that you'll actually get better autofocus with your camera, as well as better, higher qualities if you have the right camera settings. So most people, they set the softbox right above their camera, right? You want to tilt it down at a little bit of an angle, and this will get you decent lighting from before, as you can see, versus right now. This is not bad at all for just a softbox like setting. But one of the big mistakes that people do is they put it right in front of the camera, which makes your video a little dull. As you can see, everything is fully lit up. And one of the super secret, simple ways that you can instantly improve your videos is simply just moving your light to a 45-degree angle, depending on whatever side that you want it to be, whether that's on your left or on your right. And then I'm also going to have it a little bit more pointed down, closer to my face. And you just want to constantly be seeing how that looks. And now what you did is you made your image or video a little bit more 3D. As you can tell here, I'll have a little before and after, but now there's actually contouring and shadows to my face. And if you're putting it at a 45-degree angle, you'll know it's at a 45-degree angle. If you draw a line straight down your face, you can start to see that Rembrandt or classic cinematic lighting. And this is already one step up from just pointing a light at your face, right? But let's go into tip number 2 to make your videos look a little bit more or less dark in a stormy night. So yes, right now I do have my softbox, but one of the issues of using a softbox is that you're only having one key light. And as you can see right now, there is that harsh shadow, which some people like, some people don't like. And this might be completely fine and already a big upgrade for your already existing camera. But what I'm going to do is I will be having use of a second softbox, and I'll show you how you do it. Most people, the most standard way of how you actually put on or set up your softbox is just to simply have like a sandwich setup. But how I'm going to be using this light is I'll be using the second light as a fill light. So since my second softbox right here, guys, is not dimmable, how you manually dim it is simply by just moving the softbox farther away from you. So this is what it would look like if I had two softbox, aka sandwich style, which is cool for music videos, but what will happen is you have two softboxes which light you up, evenly lit, as you can see completely. This is a little, right now, how it looks like with two lights, how this looks like with one light, and how it looks with no light. All right? So this is the importance of lighting. But for me, I don't like having two softboxes straight at me, right? There's no contrast, there's no contouring in my face. I just look like a flat image. And since this light right here is not dimmable because it is via just a light bulb, what you want to do to create more of a fill light, hence the term fill light, is I'll just be moving this light a little back, right? And now what is happening is I will be bouncing the light off of the ceiling. I'm bouncing the light off of the ceiling as high as I can possibly make it go. The light to bounce off, so I'm diffusing the diffused light, if that makes sense. So how that will look on camera, well, you will have a much more softer light on the right side, but the harsh shadows aren't as prominent in comparison to if I were to actually have this light right in front like I had before. So now this is my more preferred style of having a light setup. So I have a key light right here, my main source of lighting. I have my fill light bouncing off the ceiling, then back at me, and I can turn off the key light to the fill light, sorry, to see if it actually makes a difference. So I'm gonna turn this guy off, and as you can see, no fill light. Now I turn this guy on. Now I do have a little bit of a fill, but my face is still 3D. There's shadows here. I have a little bit of a shadow here. And just to make it a little part 3, I'm going to show you guys to make your videos look a little bit more, even more like a spicy meatball. So the thing is with ring lights, and what people usually do is like, okay, ring light, I'm going to use that as my main light. But I've been experimenting and actually prefer softbox. Yes, they do take up a lot more space. And if you're not so serious about lighting, then yeah, ring light, put it smack dab in the middle. That will do your job. But there's a difference between doing a job and doing a good job. So right now, I'm just plugging in my ring light, and I'll be using my ring light as a tertiary light or a third light. And I'll be using my third light as what we like to call in the film industry a hair light, or a back, or a rim light. So now if I zoomed in, you can't tell that I'm using a ring light. And if I turned off my key light, you can play around with different sources of lighting now. Now that I have all three lights, you know, I can move my fill light a little closer. You can play around with different sources of lighting. So if you want to get more cinematic, you don't have to use the key light. Yes, key light is your main source of lighting, but what if I just rely on a rim light, a key light, a rim backlight, and a fill light to make a little bit more of a cinematic type of effect? You know, bring this guy a little closer, right? So having a silhouette or a rim light via just using a ring light gives you different moods that you want to play with, as you can see right here. And since this my Mount Dog ring light is dimmable, I can change up the mood, right? I can make it really warm. And I can color grade this too to make it the shadows red, green, blue, purple, whatever my heart's desires. I can turn this a little bit more towards me, right? It's all about experimenting. And you can't really see it because it's in the back, but you'll see it on that camera, right? So depending on the angling of where you want the light to be, you can have some sort of a more cinematic rim light or a backlight, just to have some sort of emotion. Maybe it's sadness, more serious. Or this can just be a simulation of, let's say, in a movie scene where it's very dark and there's just one light and the sun's about to set and you need to turn on your lights in your living room, something like that, right? There's so many different ways to play with the lights. Or what you can have is, you can have a key light, no backlight, and this is just using two lights, or you can just have a fill light, right? So this is the fill light. As you can see, what it's doing is it's very soft, diffuse look. Comparison to if I use this fill light right here and just pointed it straight down at me as another key light, right? The difference is that you can play with lights, always about experimenting. But like I said, you don't need a fancy $2,000 camera. You don't need a fancy $3,000 light setup. You just need to learn the fundamentals or basics of lighting. And that right there is how I do my lighting. This is a little bright, and all my settings are at 1/50, 3.5, 100 ISO, and I'm using my darn D5200. And it makes me have an interesting point about if I am using my D5200 right now, guys, D5200, almost a 10-year-old camera with 3 lights, and it looks better than your $3,000 light camera setup. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's all about learning the fundamentals. It's not so much about what's the best gear to rock. If you know what you're doing with lights, you can make anything look like something crispy. You feel me? And that was my little breakdown of how you use all 3 lightings and how you instantly improve your YouTube studio backdrop setting, whether you want to film Instagram stories, TikToks, whatever your heart desires. Even if you just want to make content in your bedroom, man, whatever your heart desires. So that, guys, was my how you instantly improve your lighting, the ultimate light breakdown, the only light breakdown that you need to know, taught by yours truly, Peter from Broke Visionary Collective. And if you want to get a little bit more serious, I do have 14 days free on Skillshare, where I do have a course that you guys can check out, where I talk about each one of these lights specifically and how you can improve your lighting. Links in the description below. And if you get even more serious, I do have your beginner's mastery guide, specifically even if you have a Nikon camera. And if you get even more serious, the third series about you want to make your first $1,000 with video editing, I have my full-on masterclass, link in the description below. And go out and try this lighting setup for your own, whether you have 1 light, no light, 3 lights. Let me know on Instagram at BVC Co. Let me know how that went. If you have any issues, feel free to join our Facebook Visionaries group. And my name is Peter. You're watching Broke Visionary Collective, where we all start with nothing, but you can always create something. Cheers, guys.